Welcome to EnVision Center News, where we discuss community impact and involvement with today's nonprofit leaders and philanthropists. Today on EnVision Center News, we have our guest, Karin Wedemeyer, and she is here with the Music Conservatory of Sandpoint. And I'm going to just have you take it away. I want you to start and tell me exactly what the Music Conservatory does and who it serves and why it is such an important part of our community.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me.
Yes.
And you did a great job with my name, so I appreciate that. Thank you. So we came into existence in 2009. And really, originally, I will share a little story. Some of you may have heard that before, but we had come together with a partner at that time to create just a workshop. And we had ordered at Perky Mama's, who is no longer existent. We had ordered a cup of coffee, and the coffee was just plain too hot to drink. Oh. So we sat there for half an hour, and out of the workshop became the vision of a conservatory. So to this day, I say if we had ordered iced tea, we would not be talking today.
Funny.
So we're a little bit of a garage story because we started really small with just 8 students. How my personal background I will share with you is academically. I'm a historian and archaeologist, and I'm a UCLA graduate. I was in the doctoral program for archaeology, but I also studied music and voice. I'm an opera singer, and I swung around, and I decided that was going to be what I will be doing.
Wow.
So I did this for 35 years, and I still am. But with that kind of combination of knowledge, I felt personally that was a good backdrop to say yes to it and start on this crazy venture.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started with just a few students and 2 teachers, and we followed the path of the vision to become the Juilliard of the Wild West. And our path led us into our historic 110 Main Street building.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived in there, I want to say, since 2010 or 2011. And slowly but surely, we occupied just about the whole building, and we knew this needed to be our permanent home.
Mm-hmm.
And we pursued ownership for over 7 years.
Wow.
And which in itself was a journey, but it's okay because when you journey and you know nothing is just given to you, then you own every step of your journey. And it was important to, per se, to never grow faster than we could manage and to just kind of, strategically build.
Mm-hmm.
So we have done. So in 2019, we were able to buy the building.
Excellent.
And so we are there with a beast, and I will talk about this later. Meanwhile, we are 24 instructors. We have a full administration. We're an accredited School of Performing Arts. We're actually an international School of Performing Arts because staff comes from all over the world.
Amazing. Can you talk a little bit about your staff and where they've come from and how that's been built? And are they flocking to your program, or are you bringing them in and headhunting? How's this working?
Well, actually, they just seem to find us now,
Beautiful.
which is kind of nice.
Yes.
So we have me from Germany, right? Bremen. Then we have our guest conductor coming from Prague. Then we have our flautist coming from Poland. Then we have our music director, American. Then we also have a violin teacher from Romania. So it's kind of coming from all over. And it's a nice blend because it exposes our students to a variety of cultures, which is really beautiful because there are different styles in teaching.
Yes.
And different pools of knowledge. And together, music is this wonderful vehicle to bring people together with no agenda.
Right.
To just really enjoy the process of creativity and to create something beautiful together. And we are so very capable of doing this, no matter who or what or why, right?
Boy, that reminded me, when I was in high school, I was in Russia for a mission trip. And this woman was speaking to me at the guest house, and I didn't speak a lick of Russian, and she handed me a recorder, and she told me essentially that music is the language that binds us.
Yep.
And so then I, hacked my way through a few recorder songs, but But you're right about that. Like, there's
Mhm.
all these different cultures that have influenced music so greatly, and then
Mhm.
also just it's so universal. It's really cool.
It helps us talk to each other,
Yeah.
in this really unassuming, wonderful way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of its purpose, right?
Yeah.
I know that we sometimes say music is a universal language. I will actually want to say we will find out at some point that music is the language of the universe.
Mm.
And I'm hoping I live long enough to have that proven.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so let's talk about this building that has brought together all of these. Well, I shouldn't say it's the building that brought everyone together. It's the program and the people, but you have this wonderful space. So tell me historically, what was that space used for before you guys came in?
Oh, it has many usages. So it was a city hall, but originally it was built as a fire station. So it has this very unique feature of it. It has those two fire doors.
Mhm.
And part of our first restoration attempt was to we restored those fire doors. We can open them and lead way. So when you open the fire doors, you can walk into Little Carnegie, which is our concert hall
Mhm.
that we finished last year in June.
Beautiful.
So I will want to say that we knew that what we were building, that all of our students, we're teaching close to 500 students. I just wanted, which seems like this can't be, but yes, it is, because we are also partially in the community.
Mhm.
But we realized we needed a shelter for everyone because at this point we had very valuable instruments, and everybody needed a home.
Mhm.
So when we took on that, I call it the Beauty and the Beast, right? Because we were going to make it beautiful, but it
Mhm.
is a beast at times, and it's a lot of challenges. And it falls under the umbrella of creative placemaking. And creative placemaking is taking on either a historic building or a building that needs to be repurposed, and that we don't want to just tear down,
Mhm.
but we want to preserve it because it has a historic or architectural significance. And so when you do this and you fill this with community-oriented programs, in our case, we filled it with a school.
Yeah.
But the theater, and we have a theater program that's in there together. It's part of the school. But you can see old mills being used for theater, old water towers for theater, for galleries, and it's really to show the community, look what we can do, and it becomes a place of gathering, lingering, and to celebrate creativity.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So who have you had to partner with to ensure that you guys are doing the historical preservation?
So with Shipo, the building is part of the historic downtown.
Mhm.
And it's not individually registered, but the downtown area, that part is registered.
Okay.
So, and then I'm also part of the Historic and Arts Preservation Committee, Historic Preservation and Arts Committee. Sorry, my German tongue, that's a lot to handle. So, and where we come together to create public awareness of our beautiful historic downtown, how we can preserve it, and how does art come into place for, and how can we work together under the concept of creative placemaking.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So we have this building, and it's every morning I have to come and put my hand on it, and I talk to it and say, so how are you feeling today? And on a Monday says, I don't want your answer, because if there's a leak somewhere, don't tell me on Monday, tell me on Friday, right? So I have these private conversations with the building. And it will share its little squeaks and leaks with me and say, oh, there's a faucet leaking. Karin, can you please send somebody?
Oh.
It's just fun because you have this relationship of love and compassion for the building.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's not doable. You have to love what you do because it is a big challenge.
Yes. So will you be able to continue during these renovations, keeping your students and your teachers and everybody in that space? And how will that work?
So we have a 5-year plan.
Okay.
And the cherry on top is that at some point we are wanting to put the bell back up.
Yes.
So we found the bell, and a lot of people in the community are aware. It lives right now next to the museum,
Mhm.
next to Memorial Park. So meanwhile, we have we have an architect who set us up for like a 5 to 7 year, I would want to say, strategy. So we started with Little Carnegie, and we lived through that renovation barely, but we did. Then the next part is that we are needing to replace our windows, and we can stay put because we have to. This is one of the most critical elements in creative placemaking or preserving our architectural history. We have to take them into the next century, and we have to address their energy needs. Part of why we're losing them is because people feel we can't address that. But yes, we can, and we have to. Otherwise, we are losing them. So replacing the windows, we have hydronic floors in Little Carnegie and beginning to update those aspects, allow us to live there. We will have to move and seek shelter for the time when we are placing the bell back up, because we have to do modifications inside of the building to replace and add beams to carry the load. That will be kind of the end project, and I have some ideas right now of what could be, where we could be. We are hoping, though, that administration per se, so we'll stay in downtown for the very last phase of renovations. We may end up teaching for maybe a semester somewhere else. Well, I know we will have to, right? So we're just psychologically preparing ourselves, because that's going to be a big deal. But, you know, we've come so far.
Absolutely.
And I keep saying, well, this is like an elephant, and you take a bite each time, but it's a chocolate elephant. It's okay.
I love that. I love that. So, so this sounds kind of expensive. Have you guys found funding for this, and how is that working? I'm sure that there could always be more assistance.
Yes, so we definitely need assistance. We are launching a capital campaign, and we have our actually first larger fundraisers coming up March 11th, a Taste of Music, which is an evening in Vienna themed. But aside from that, yes, if creative placemaking speaks to you and you feel as strongly as we do about making this building all it can be and giving it that kind of community function, then do talk to us. Because we do need that help, even with the windows alone. The windows are about $250,000. And we're gathering some steam, but we could have a lot more steam. We need a lot of financial muscle. But I will promise you, when we raise that bell, this building will be a go-see site.
I love it. So how can the community be involved or use this space outside of participating in the classes or coming to a concert?
So Little Carnegie, so POAC is in there right now as well. So they're also hosting classes. So it already has that kind of community feature to it. Part of our programming is like the Music Matters is it's free to the community, right? There's like a annual registration fee that's $75, but that's part of the community service already right there.
Absolutely.
You can come and use Little Carnegie, and we already have requests. There's another school using it right now. POAC is hanging gallery pictures. We have another request from a gallery from Coeur d'Alene that would like to use the space. So, which means is actually we're going to invite other communities even to come and look at Sandpoint as a viable place to interact with when it comes to arts and culture.
I love it.
And then it takes on a larger community function. The building will be a cultural center. Or Center for Culture, and I'm sure when the bell is up, it will be the Bell Building, and it will just define itself, no matter what we say. And then we'll just really enjoy what we can do in this way for hopefully centuries to come, right? Or at least I keep saying until Yellowstone explodes, which hopefully is a long way.
Let's hope. Can you share a little bit more about the event that you have coming up in March and how people can come and rally behind that? Or?
Yeah, so if we still have some seats, so you can definitely come and contact the school at 208-265-4444. I'm going to share that with you. Or you can just walk through our doors and allow me to give you a tour. And and be invited in. So if you would like to come to the Taste of Music and enjoy a wonderful dinner, and if you like to dance a waltz, definitely we have an orchestra there. And our honor students will also be performing. There'll be wonderful food served. It's just going to be a lot of fun. Then we would love for you to come and contact us. Okay. If March 11th does not speak to you and your schedule does not allow for that, please come and see me for a tour. I feel this building speaks for itself, and it is most important for you to actually see what can be done and what we have already done when you come in person. And there's music oozing out of every corner.
I can only imagine with 500 students and all that staff.
And they're not all always there on site. You know, we have about 250 private students, plus we have our Music Matters students, but some of our staff actually teaches in an after-school program called Music Matters in the school district. So, which is actually really nice because students have access to choir and percussion and orchestra, and we're just looking to inspire. You know, there isn't such a thing as too much music, just like there isn't such a thing as too much chocolate. Keeping that in mind, you know, I think we have been the inspiration for many other organizations to follow suit. And I think we have created an incredible demand that even with partners, it's almost difficult to meet. We are almost at max capacity. And so with that, knowing that it's okay, it is really worth doing this because we are meeting a need within society. We realize that. That is my personal advocacy as a cultural pedagogue. I go out to other communities and I speak about why and think outside the box. We helped mentor the conservatory in Coeur d'Alene. They rescued a historic building based on our inspiration and mentorship, and they've created in the old Hamilton House a conservatory that is coming up, and they have their challenges, but you know, we are doing this together. It creates an infrastructure of arts and culture where people begin to talk to each other and programs talk to each other. And once we achieve that, then we can have a huge impact on the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Right?
Really, just the strength of those numbers and just leaning on each other's experiences and learning from pitfalls. It's wonderful to share that and just to continue the love and the growth so that everyone else can, you know, experience and jump on the back.
And it is, I want to say we're wanting to create a movement, right? And that we are just the first one, but definitely not the last one. Conservatory and creative placemaking, and for other communities to say, wow, we can do this. And then I'm available to mentor and advise if need be. So, but
I have one last question.
Yes, of course.
It is about you know, you're saying you're at max capacity. What do you need? Do you need volunteer hours? Do you need more teachers? What do you need?
So teacher-wise, we are in really good shape. What we would need is we really want to work on public awareness. So we would love for people to understand what creative placemaking is, how we can fill, you know, various spaces. We have a need in marketing and holding the conversation outside in the community of what the mission is and what can be accomplished. So I would say, yes, marketing always. We're also wanting to create a student newspaper for a student to begin to tell stories and interview other students and just run with it.
How fun.
So I could see that maybe somebody who would love to assist with editing this always. We have a lot of events coming out of Little Carnegie, and our events coordinator could possibly need help. So I can see, you know, there somebody who doesn't mind getting their hands dirty on construction. I would like to know about you too, because we have little, larger, medium-sized, large, and very large projects. Come and speak to me. And so I would say, all of these various areas of our project.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, this is such a great opportunity to speak with you. I'm
Thank you.
so grateful that you came in and
My
that
pleasure
you're sharing
entirely.
what's going on.
Yes.
I mean, boy, our community is so fortunate to have the conservatory here. And, if people are looking to get involved in something, what an excellent and extraordinary opportunity. Yeah.
For sure. And I would like to say one thing. The perception is that we are mostly dealing with children, or that, or young adults. We can take a student all the way to professional grade, but we also have quite an increase in adult students who used to play or who want to do this now, and they are very successful. And I just wanted to let you know that consider yourself invited.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I love it. Well, thank you again for being
My
here.
pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to today's episode. For more information, you can go to crecIdaho.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.